Hey, greetings everyone. Michael here, Metaphysician at Spirit Quest Academy. So happy to see you today. Glad you showed up for our learning experience. This will be a wonderful, intriguing class on how to take some empowering function in your life so that you don't feel overwhelmed or as a victim or, oh my, just me. Everything in life changes in so many ways. And if we look at nature, how a flower blooms and flowers and dies, or how a tree bends and sways in the wind. Oftentimes, the rule and law of nature, as always, at work in our life, and we can gain some function and some control and some empowered techniques with that, as that flow in our life takes us through highs and lows, ups and downs. So in today's class, I want to talk about boosting your immune system, and specifically relief for respiration and breathing, two very important systems in our body that work both voluntarily and involuntarily. And in times of stress, we need to take action so that we don't go down and spiral into an illness or a depression or an oh my, I'm useless or whatever. No, bring out your empowering techniques. Work with these challenges in your life. That's what we're here to learn and to do and to improve. All right, so let me slip over here to my next slide and get a little more centered. So everything happens at its own pace. So there's stressful events, there's happy events, there's irritable events or frustrated events. And these things spell out through different situations. Some of them are external, coming in on us. Some are internal. Either way, they're lessons to learn. They're challenges popping up in our life. We're not floating on a cloud playing a harp. That isn't the routine. We came here onto the planet to learn lessons and experience life. And so change is the only constant in life. Have you noticed that? And oftentimes, chaos is what brings about change. So when I walk in nature, whether it's in the forest, the mountains, around the block I live on, at a city park, out in the desert, over at the ocean, or my favorite lake. There's so many places. Where is it you like to walk? As you do that, observe the beauty in nature, the flow in nature, and the changes in nature. And oftentimes those changes look pretty chaotic. Nature doesn't build little square blocks with a window and a door and a roof. No, it builds things that sway and move and grow. And at times when massive change comes through, like in a storm, and the trees blow down or the rocks slide down, there's chaos in the forest, or spilled over the river and redirected the river's flow. Well, these kind of things we see and witness in nature are really a map of our own life. And this can reflect on all levels of body, mind, spirit, in the complexity of the living example that we are in, of bioelectrical, mechanical beings. All right. So sometimes this change comes on as an illness, a cold, a flu, a virus, a bacteria, or a disease of some type. And these things throw us into chaos or into frustration or depression. Um, some of these things aren't fun. Hey, they weren't meant to be. But how are you going to handle that? So there's support from your counsel of your family and friends, from various medical procedures. The allopathic doctors have pills and surgeries. The naturopathic doctors have some tinctures and more natural techniques, along with the functional medicine. Also brings in diet, exercise, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, all these kinds of things. And these are things you might want to look at. Getting some personal life coaching on any of these areas of your life. And I provide those things also at my website, spiritquestacademy.org. But specifically today, I'll be teaching some power points, some acupressure points that you can learn and practice and just take right into your daily menu of empowering techniques. So the next thing is people respond to change in very individual patterns that they have developed through childhood, the formative years, through what they learned with the family of origin, the examples of the parents and elders there in the family. And then as life goes on, we learn things, we exchange ideas from friends, or we learn things from our own life experiences. And some of us are a little better than others at taking self-responsibility, learning how to maintain our health. So these self-care techniques I'm going to step us through today enable you to actively build your immunity. Very important. Our immune system is also electrical and etheric, and it's medicinal. It depends on the foods we eat. It depends on the thoughts we think. It depends on what we take in through our eyes, through our ears, through our mouth, through our nose. All of these senses are how you're using your senses, elevating your life or bringing your life down. Are they polluting you with fear, with anger, with dark emotions? Or are they lifting you up with positive ideas, positive techniques, positive empowering affirmations, meditations in your life? So this is a choice. And many people don't even realize they have a choice until tap, tap, hello, wake up, try this out. It works. All right. So you can complement your self-care or medical care of any kind and stay well and healthy and happy by using these techniques. They're very complementary. Whether you're working with me in metaphysical techniques of energy medicine, vibrational healing, quantum techniques, plasma light healing, a crystal clear reading around life issues, love, health, career, should I move my household? All these kind of things bring in immense support and moving ahead in your life. Some situations, a person chooses to see a medical doctor, an allopathic doctor, and work with medicines or surgeries. Other people will work with a naturopathic or a functional medical practitioner. All of these things address you as an individual and your choices in life. And these acupressure PowerPoint techniques I'll be teaching you today and in this whole class series are very complementary to any and all of those procedures. And I should mention, always a disclaimer, entertainment, information, educational purposes only. Try it out. Do your own research. Uh, I'm not allowed to say anything cures anything. Oh, so we didn't do that. Okay, next slide. Let's move along and start learning. This area is called LU1. And you can see it's right underneath the collarbone, out at the crease of the armpit and the shoulder. And this point is on the lung meridian. All right. And so this deals a lot with change in your life. We talked about it can be chaos. It can be happy change. You know, you don't have to use these techniques when things are crazy or out of control or painful. You can use these techniques when they're happy to embellish the happiness in your life. It works anyway all the time. But a lot of times people take issue with the illness, the virus, whatever, that there is discomfort there. And so, yes, it relieves irritability, fatigue, and confusion. Specifically, it can clear the chest physically and emotionally. And the lungs deal a lot with emotions and trapped emotions. And can you breathe through these things? It can also relieve symptoms of asthma, and it definitely clears the lungs. So your lungs are a series of alveoli sacs, and as you breathe in and out, their job is to absorb oxygen and distribute it through your pulmonary system and put that blood, that oxygen-rich blood, into your stream, pump through your heart, pump through your bodies, keep your brain alert, keep your organs working, keep your physical functions working. Okay, and so when there are impediments there, a cough, fungus, excess water in the lung, asthma, infections, these kind of things, the ability to absorb that oxygen is impaired. And these particular techniques help improve that quickly by stimulating these energy points on the lung meridian. So in another class, another time, I'll go into meridians, and many of my students have gone through those classes with me before. But these are specific points that we can use without having all that extra information. So, according to the diagrams here, I want you to find your collarbone. It bony, sticks out right there. Go out towards your shoulder, and you'll feel an indentation right here from the armpit going up around. It's kind of curved around the muscles of the shoulder, and you'll reach that collarbone going out to the shoulder joints, and right in there you will feel L1 or LU1. They both work. That's the name of the point. With one or two fingers, put some pressure there. Push and hold, and breathe through it. Breathe in, and pause, and exhale. And release the pressure. And note right there what you're feeling. I get an energy coming in towards my lungs and towards the sternum, the central chest, very clearing. And I feel my breath much deeper, much lower in my lungs. And my exhale is clearer. Now, let's find that point again, and this time press in and massage a bit. And notice how this is feeling. Take a breath. Close your eyes if you need. Now exhale. And release the point. Now, what are you feeling? Tune into that as you return your breathing to normal. I'm noticing this time a clearing down lower in my chest, towards the lower rib cage. And there's even a muscular relaxation at the lower and outer area of my rib cage. Now, what you may feel or notice could be completely different. Common feelings are opening in the throat, opening in the upper lung, which is where all the pulmonary tubes and arteries are really flowing in and out. Very busy area up in here. You might feel sensations of warmth or flowing there. So make some notes. As noted in our part 1 class, keep a journal, keep a diary, make some notes how this feels. And it'll feel different. It'll allow it to change as you use this repeatedly. So another thing, you can also do the tapping technique. It's a little difficult because this is more of a indentation. 1 or 2 fingers can fit in there nicely. You could use your thumbs. Okay. All right. So experiment with that. Play with that. You can use this frequently throughout the day. Do not beat yourself up and make anything sore or press so hard you bruise. That isn't what we're trying to do. But what you'll find is repeating through the day 2, 3 times, 4 times, once an hour, whatever works for you, will help that relief, especially if you have a cold or a flu or a virus. Use these techniques as needed. All right, let's pop over to the next slide. And what are we doing here? Relieving breathing difficulties. So this relieves chest congestion and breathing difficulties, coughing, anxiety, other tensions and frustrations that are so typical come along when we don't feel well. So this is K27, and it's known as the Elegant Mansion. And specifically, this one is really good for relieving asthma or asthmatic techniques, and then that really does bridge into other difficulties of breathing, be again from a cold, a virus, a flu, whatever. Now, the K27, we already found the collarbone and the L1 point. All right. And so come in on the collarbone towards the central plane, and the sternum's here, and the top as you go up, you'll feel the throat chakra area here. So find the collarbone, come in towards the center, and you'll find another indentation right there. Okay. 1 or 2 fingers and press in there and hold. And as always, I recommend a deep breath. Breathe in, pause, exhale. What are you noticing? You can relieve the pressure point. I get a huge opening coming up and down through my throat. My swallowing becomes relieved, easy, more clear. And I'm noticing the upper part of my chest and lungs, there's an opening sensation there. I want to stimulate K27 again. So find that point and stimulate that again. And this time I'm just guided to press and exert more and more pressure, and then take the deep breath. Pause. and exhale. Pressing even harder. And now release. Now, as I noticed being guided to press harder, I felt an energy going down into my lungs and coming up. It's like went down and brought energy up from the bottom of my lungs and out. And now my breathing is much deeper and more full. And my normal breathing is not so shallow. It is deeper, just in the normal breath, without doing a deep inhale and exhale. So let's try this a third time and get familiar with K27, the elegant mansion. Very descriptive names with these acupressure points. Makes them fun and interesting. I'll breathe deep again. Pressing a little deeper. Exhale. And pressing deeper through the exhale. And release. I am noticing a wellness from upper to lower and just flushing out and just flooding out. Again, the base of my lungs, even down to the diaphragm, there is huge release coming up. Very nice. What are you noticing? Practice. Note in your journal how this works for you. It will always take some practice, and tune into your sensitivity as to what's going on, how much relief you're getting, and then how does that deal with the situation you were in a few minutes previous. Was it tension? Was it a frustration? Was it a breathing difficulty? And now how are you relieving that situation? Does it help to close your eyes or look out the window at the sky or at a flower, or say, I am breathing better, I am feeling better? Try all of these things as you practice all of these techniques to bring in your creativity in resolving your situation, because you are a very powerful being, and using your power empowers you on a body, mind, spirit level to move forward in your life. All right, let's go to the next slide. Here, we're going to work with some techniques out on the palm of the hand. So this is looking at the front of the hand, not the back, but the front. Okay, and I'll hold up, actually, this one, I was trying to make it look like there. That is what I'm doing in the drawing there. And so L9 is here at the thumb, kind of to the outside, and L10 is inside the thumb on the bone just up from the first joint. All right, and so L9 here at base of the thumb, this is above the wrist lines, and just as you're coming in, you'll feel the bony joint. It actually is sensitive to too much pressure, and just inside of there is a little indentation, a little divot, and that fits one finger. And as you press L9, this is the great abyss, and you relieve lung problems. This relieves coughing. This relieves asthma. All right. So press and hold. Take a breath. Pause and exhale. and relieve that point. Release that point. I'm noticing a lot of relief in the tension of my hand. But I'm also noticing energy flowing up my arm into my chest. Very interesting. Let's trigger L9 once again. So find that point, come in from the outside if you want. You can't miss it. You just can't miss that point. Come up from the bottom, zoom, right there. Let me bring it up closer. See? You just can't miss it. You mess around, but pushing, that's joint, bone, and then right there, you're right in the LU9 hollow of the great abyss. So press, massage gently, take a deep breath, pause, exhale, and release. Can this be any more fun and simple? I'm noticing a smile. How about you? All right. Let's move a little farther up the thumb to the L10. So you have that base joint and the hollow, and come on up, and now you feel this joint, and then the mid bone of the thumb, and just to the inside of there, another indentation. Yes. Let me move in closer so you can see where I'm pressing. There. Take a deep breath. Pause. Exhale. This one makes me smile also. I'm getting the sense of there is actually a relief around my crown, and it's coming down into the throat and the lungs. And this is an experience I'm feeling, an energy I'm feeling. What is your experience? But I'm not feeling a lot in my hand or wrist this time. I'm pressing this point on the lung meridian, and I am feeling the effects elsewhere in my body, which is the idea. This is very accessible out in front of us. We can access it so easily. The L9 or L10, the great abyss, or the L10 is called fish border. So, swimming along, do the fish. Yeah. Okay. Not needed. Just press the point. Okay. So, the fish border relieves shallow breathing, coughing, swollen throat. Shallow breathing. We are all so guilty of that. If we're sitting, hunching over our computer or our phone, wow, I work here all day on my phone and Zoom calls with my clients, putting together my classes and my vlog videos, and it is a wonderful tool. But I set alarms so I'm up on periodic breaks so I can walk, stretch, do my Tai Chi, press a few points, and revitalize myself. So I'm not going into shallow breathing. Shallow breathing shuts down the thinking, brings on frustration, depression, laziness, things like that. As soon as you step up, move around, do a little bit of stretching and breathing and a few acupressure points, boom, you're back in the cycle. You are productive. You are healing. And if you are dealing with a malady like a cold flu or something like that, these things help relieve that situation. So once again, you can be productive and go about your gardening, you're reading, you're cooking, you're bathing, the things that you need to do in your life, whatever those are. So, okay, what else we got? Next slide. Okay, but wait, there's more. Okay, now the points I've taught you up to now are on the front of the body because they're visible, they're easy to access, and very easy to practice with. And practice, practice, practice. It's so important, dear friends. Practice makes perfect. No matter if you're playing piano, playing a sport, writing books, cooking, whatever you're doing. Hey, how about practice being a human? Wow, that's an endless job. Okay, so these points, you might notice, are on the back of the body. But I promise you, they're very easy to reach. And I stimulate these things oftentimes during in-person sessions in my clinic. But over the years, those have been less and less and less. My clientele is full there, and I prefer to work online through phone and Zoom. And so teaching these things is critical because I can instruct a client over the phone. Hit the G20. Let's release right here. And I'll be doing that energetically at distance also. So I will demonstrate these things as best I can from the front and from turning around a bit. So let's start with GB20, Gates of Consciousness. Relieves neck tension, neck pain, headaches, poor memory, arthritic pain. Now, the reason I brought these in is oftentimes these specific pains that we'll be relieving with these points right here tie into why the lung meridian is shut down. There is some interface between these meridians. If one is tight, it might be choking down on another. And that's why we use these various points in relieving these situations. So from my experience, I found these to be very, very key, and that's why I'm bringing them in on our session today. All right, so GB20. From the front side, move your hands to the back behind your ears, and you will feel the base of your skull. And you can trace that lower skull down, down, down to the outside, kind of to the bottom of your ears. Okay? And during the base of the skull, go up as high as you can and in underneath the skull. Underneath the bony plate, not on the plate, but underneath it. Just off the edge, so to speak, that bottom edge or ledge. And when you find it, you'll feel your neck muscles moving around in there. And once again, there's an indentation that one or two fingers will fall into very easily. And this is the place, once again, press and massage. You do not press in here with a lot of pressure. You'll slow down circulation. What you do is pulse in with pressure and relieve. Pulse in with pressure and relieve. Pulse in with pressure and relieve. And do exactly that 2 or 3 times. Take your fingers away and breathe through. What has happened? What are you sensing? All right, now I'm going to find the points, and I'll turn around here a bit so that you can see where I'm pushing, and then turn back around. And that's the best I can do for right now. You'll get the idea. I'm trusting you're following right along. These are easy to find with a little practice, and you can't hurt yourself. uh, if you get the right area, you will feel the relief. And in part one, I also mentioned the surround the dragon technique. If you're having trouble finding any of these points, just hit around, all around there. And when you hit the point correctly, you will feel a hot spot or a sensation, or, ooh, that's right. That's the dragon. And by surrounding the dragon, you can eventually find that point. And I always like that because when we finally poke right on the dragon point, we get relief. And so until you find it, surround it. It all works. And it keeps it simple and intuitive for you following forward. All right. The GB21 is at the shoulder well. And this relieves tension, nervousness, irritability, fatigue, frustration, all these things that tie in. And I have oftentimes felt when I'm working along the top back of the shoulders, not only does this relieve so much neck and shoulder tension, which, oh, we all have this. It's like plague. Oh. But again, it relieves the back muscles here, which relieves this tension that carries down into the lungs and the lung meridian. So again, GB21 is the shoulder well. And as you can see, we're out from the neck, and it's very close to the other point here we're going to learn about, TW15. But this one is just find that neck muscle coming down, go to the back at the base of the neck, and come out about 2 or 3 finger widths. I'm finding right at 3 from the base of the neck, you will feel an indentation. And I will turn a bit to show you. This is kind of on the top back of the shoulder. Here's my neck, and it's 3 fingers down, boom. You'll feel an indentation. All right. On this one, I'll use 1 or 2 fingers and press and release and press and release. And I get a lot of pain releasing. It's a sore point. It's what we call a hot point. And when you have a hot point, trigger the point on and off. And surround the dragon. Go out a little, go back a little, go up or down a little. And you'll feel those hot spots release very quickly. And as they release, go back to the main spot there, that GB21, press it. There's not a sensation. Release. That quickly. I just took care of that. And then this is good. Sway the neck. Bring it back over to the side. So right and left, gently back, not too far back, gently forward and down. And if after you do the forward back, left, right, you can also relax your neck in a circular motion. And I recommend just go over to the one side, down to center, over to the other side, down to center. It might not be necessary to actually have your neck go into the back. That can strain an already sore neck, or if these points are triggered and they're tight, having your neck back is not necessarily a good thing to do. So just swing your neck from side to down to side. Okay. Now, the TW15 is heavenly rejuvenation. Ooh, how good does that sound? It relieves stiff neck, neck tension, and shoulder pain. And again, I'm bringing these in because they're such huge tension relievers, and you'll actually feel the relief down the back, down the shoulders, top of the arm, and all through the neck. So these are good to incorporate along with these other lung meridian points. GB stands for gallbladder, by the way. So, okay, let's find TW15. So GB21, we know that one now, and it's just farther back. About 2 fingers down from there, you will feel it. So I will turn and show you. Here is the neck. Go down about 2 or 3 fingers. There's GB21. Now go down about 2 more fingers, and I'm finding it down and just a touch to the outside. That is TW15. Oh, golly, that feels so good. Oh, this one I'm getting a lot of relief up my neck, up behind my ears, and all the way down my neck. And that's because that's where there's tension in my body right now. Oh, I actually feel like there are hands massaging my neck while I'm triggering this point. So what are you feeling here? Breathe in. Pause. And exhale. And release the point. That was quite a few seconds, 20 or 30 seconds on that massage point. And my shoulders and neck are now like just flowing energy through them. Just really incredible. And so this might be good for you to bring your shoulders up to your ears, drop them, and rotate them together, forward, go backwards, go forwards, and just up and down, and just gentle, just very, very gentle. And then I want to re-trigger TW15. So it's very easy just to curl your fingers and go back there. G21's more on the just at the top and over, and that one's TW15 is farther to the back. TW, yeah. Okay. All right. Note in your diary, how is this feeling? I have given you a lot here today. What have we done? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. That's a lot. That is a tremendous amount for a session. So make your notes, review the class, whether you have rented it or own it, review it, review it, review it. I always recommend owning these things because you can have them stored in your library and bring them up at any time you need them to remind yourself of these things. So do keep practicing. All right. Now, for easy to use points of relief, and actually, as I counted them, there were 7. So bonus, 3 points bonus. Yay. Okay, we'll take that. So as always, experiment to see what points or combinations work for you. It's not necessary to do all of these. What you might find necessary is to learn them and play around, experiment, and see which ones are working for you in what situations. So if you want to take the time to go through all of these points every day, at different times through the day, maybe some 20-minute sessions of a few points, hey, do that. It'll be very therapeutic for you. But practice. Practice using these points with varying pressure to find out what works for you. Keep a journal or diary to track your results over the days, weeks, and months, and you will get relief, even from chronic situations. I promise you. Work on it, work on it, work on it. And if you have sessions with me over the phone or video conferencing with Zoom, we might do these things together to release a particular point in a session. So very essential to learn these things and move forward. So this has been part 2. There'll be more classes to follow, exploring acupressure as a relief and empowering technique in our life. For more information, for personal consults, many online classes exist on my Video on Demand, the VOD channel, and you can visit me at spiritquestacademy.org for the online classes, my video channel. They're high def. You can also read or pay for and schedule phone sessions, Zoom sessions with me. The online scheduler, everything is there. Please go through my website. It's my virtual assistant, and it's the way we connect these days. Okay, so hope you're well, and I really enjoyed this class today, teaching you some new techniques to help you be well, be healthy, be happy, and thank you for joining me in this class, and please join me for part 3 and other classes where I will look at many, many, many other situations, metaphysical and practical and functional techniques and subject matter that I'm sure you'll find helpful in maintaining and managing life here on Earth. Okay, Michael here, Metaphysician at Spirit Quest Academy, signing off. Be well, dear ones. Good day.